Karen. I've lived all over the place. I've had lots of jobs. I've known lots of people. Wait, we look different. We act different. We have different religions. We have different values. We different right from wrong. Do we have anything in common? Yeah. I couldn't think of it. And then I was like, oh wait, I've got it. We're all born and we all die. It's like, great speech, very depressing, So I'm like, wait, that's not going to really be good. And I was like, well, what does that all mean? And then I was like, wait, we're born, we die. Okay, the in-between part. We all have to cope with the in-between part and make the best of it, right? So, and that's what life is all about. At least that's what my life has been all about, right? It started out as a normal little kid. My dad was in medical school, and I'd sit on his lap, watch these grotesque slides, and he'd tell me all about them. Yeah, this person died of this, and this person did this, and you're like, that's great, but he was a jolly guy, and he's just like, no, this stuff happens, but you got to make the best of your life that you got. So it's like, okay, so we go along, we move, he becomes a doctor, a neurosurgeon, and he takes me to the hospital with him all the time, because what else are you going to do with me, right? So I go into the hospital, he introduces me to all these people. This guy has a brain tumor, he'll die. This guy was in a motorcycle accident, he's missing half his face, and you're like, okay. And he's like, but I want you to make their lives better. He goes, I want you to go in there because you're a pretty funny little kid and you love games. I love to play cards and chess and all that stuff. He goes, just go in there and act like they're normal people just like you and me, because they are. He goes, and they've got lives that they want to live even though they might not make it. And so I'd go in every day and talk to these people and become friends with them, and they were wonderful. And they loved to laugh, and they liked to cry, and they liked to tell you about their lives and everything. And it was amazing. It did give me the perspective on life that make it worth living. You don't know when the end is ever going to occur, right? And so, going along, and I got to be about most of your age. I was like, how old? 17, right? And all of a sudden I got this muscle disease. I'm like, oh great. Have you had cramps in your legs and stuff? You know how that hurts, right? Really hurts. Okay, well, I started getting them all over my body, all at the same time. So, your hand, and then after a while, I'm just like dragging my legs. I couldn't move it, and it's, they say, oh yeah, you're paralyzed, and I'm like, yeah, but it's not supposed to hurt. So it's like you had muscle cramps all over your body, all at the same time, and I ended up in this little bitty ball, right? I couldn't move, and so I was that way for months. But my father'd come in, ice cream, he'd start feeding me ice cream, because I love ice cream. And, after a while it became normal. People would come in, talk to me just like I had the other patients. And you know what? It did make life better. That sharing between people, making other people feel better, it did make you feel better. And then one day, all of a sudden, after I'd lost 50 pounds from this, which, man, I was like a stick. All of a sudden, they found something that made it go into remission, right? So I learned to walk again, learned all that stuff, left the hospital, and I walked out of the hospital, and the sky was so blue, and the leaves were so green, and the birds sounded so good, and people looked so wonderful. I was just like, wow, this is life. It was a magical, magical world, and I was just like, okay, this is what life should be like. This is what I have to hold on to, and this is what I have to go into the future thinking about. And so it's like, okay, I can do this. But when you're 17 years old, how do you apply that? So I started, what what makes people happy, what makes people magical, you know. And so it's like, okay, goals. I like goals, you know. I like to study. I know you don't want to hear that, but I love to study. So, you know, I studied, and not because my parents told me to, which they did, of course. But got into a good university, got good grades, you know, got a good job afterwards. I did have a few really bad jobs. I must admit that, you know, my father's like, you went there and you got that job? I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know, but in the end, I had some amazing jobs, made lots of money, had a family. I have a daughter who's amazing, and, you know, never did anything better, I must admit. So, you know, you go through life, and, you know, I was still going and go. I didn't need my parents telling me that. It was me, you know, just a little, you know, make more money, get a better job, do all this stuff. And so that's how I am. I'm just like a machine that just keeps going. But, you know, vacations. I love vacations. And so, you know, I went on crazy adventures, did all this stuff, and then I hit about 50, and I was like, wait, I get from one thing to another, blah, 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 blah. It's never ending, this goal thing, and this money thing, it's never ending. I'm making money for people who don't need more money. I don't need more money. You know, why am I doing this? And when I was younger, I had always thought, if I made X amount of money, I'm going to quit, you know, because I saved money too. And I was just like, I'm just going to quit. And I'm going to do something that I want to do. Even though I did love my jobs, I got up every morning ready to work. But, you know, I hit, you know, early 50s, and I was just like, okay, I made X amount of money, I'm quitting. And everybody's like, what? You work 100 hours a week, you can't quit. And I'm like, yeah, I can. And so I quit. And then I did what I've always wanted to do, is started volunteering for an organization. So I found a place that was 100% volunteers, and, you know, we don't take out any money. 100% of your donations go to help kids with congenital heart disease that are dying, and their parents can't afford the surgery. So, you know, I started there, and once again, my whole life turned around. It was like coming out of that hospital and seeing the sky. It was like everything was wonderful. And it's 17 years later, and it's still wonderful. You know, you see those kids come into the hospital, and they're little bitty babies, you know, and they're like blue. And they, you know, their cries are feeble, you know, they just have no energy. Or a 10-year-old who's that tall, you know, really, really tiny, and blue or black lips, and purple skin because he has no circulation, and maybe it's affected his mental development. You know, it certainly does their physical development. And you're like, wow, you know, but you get them surgery, and 2 weeks later, you know, they're walking down the hall with you, holding their hands, smiling and laughing, and their skin color is great, and it's just amazing. I can't say anything, you know, for me, it's the most wonderful thing on earth. So, you know, so far we've saved 3,000 kids, and, you know, 579 last year, and so hopefully we'll just keep going and save those kids, you know, and just make life wonderful for them, you know, because it is going to be wonderful for them, because most of them, 99%, they go on to live perfectly normal lives. They can have kids, they can do sports, they can do everything. So they went from dying to a normal life. All right, so why am I telling you this? yeah, why am I? Now, this is a call to action for you guys. Okay, so I know, yeah, some of you don't like anything, but everybody's got a talent. I'm totally convinced of that. And everybody's going to find something that you like to do. Find it. Do it. Set your dreams and don't let go of them. You know, just try. Perseverance. Keep going. Keep trying. Make your life count. So that when you get to be my age, because I'm old, you can look back and remember your life and go, wow, it was a good life. And that other people can look at you and go, wow, you had a great life. You did so many good things and you helped so many people. Because helping people, it's where it's at. It's a really, really good thing. So, go out there, knock them dead. I know you will. But remember, grab your own magical life because it's within your power. Thanks.